New S-Tier Necromancer with the patch changes. Our good friend, the Blood Golem, used to be the #1 absolute destruction, billions of damage. And that hasn't changed. It's still absolutely fantastic, and you can make it even better. But there might be another build that's going to eclipse this. Before we talk about that, how could you make it better? Well, with the patch, they're buffing the Blood Begets board. Blood Begets is now going to get 30% multiplicative damage for picking up Blood Orbs. Keep in mind that picking up Blood Orbs also does heal you and your minions. And a surefire way to actually create Blood Orbs is over simply consuming corpses. Because you're going to be raising your skeletons to get the Skeletal Priest, to get the Flesh Eater 40% damage node, and therefore corpse consumption has a chance to spawn Blood Orbs, where you then simply have to walk over to get a bonus damage multiplier to have your golem slam higher and bigger than ever. Which other changes affect one of the best Necromancer builds? And that is the Golem Sacrifice bonus, which goes up from 30 to 35%. Now, a 5% bigger critical strike damage multiplier doesn't sound like a lot, but there's one build that profits tremendously from this, and that is Shadow Mages. Yes, the focus on the mages without the golem. Right now, the top 4 is actually tied between mages and the golem gameplay. The thought behind Shadow Mages is having your Tyrael's Might, and these are the bolts going away there, and Tyrael's Might is getting buffed by even more damage, plus your mages just blasting away and the warriors. And you're going to be getting Skeletal Mage Mastery on every piece possible, boost the damage with a Blight by another 20% multiplicative, and then they're just absolutely clapping away, and the DPS can keep up with the Golem. It's not the billions of hits that the Golem can do, but essentially you're doing very high multi-million DPS to essentially keep up with what the dude can do. And with you having 2 mage multipliers instead of only 1 on your chest, and that's +5 and +4, and in total you can be getting that thing to a total of 15 for 300% bonus damage, with then the tempering to mages and the newly buffed Golem Sacrifice, you might be going crazy. But not only that, all your critical strike damage is getting multiplied up, and with a new sacrificial aspect, because this one is currently sitting at 25%, but the update brings it to a 50%. Which means multiplying your 1,500% critical strike up by 35% is actually by 52.5%, which performs better than playing some weird intercom combination or something like that to boost out some more damage. Nah, just get your crit absolutely go off the roofs. There's a Shadow Mage build in the description below, and also the updated Blood Begets Golem build as well. There's a third and a fourth build though that will rise even further. Operator Otter already has an incredible Shadow Blight build. And we're talking about melting bosses in seconds. Look at that HP. This is a pit 100. And the dude is just absolutely going away. Hundreds of billions of trillions of damage with the Even Piercer Blight combination. That build is already strong without minions, but you're going to get another 5% boost to your shadow damage. Just like that, from 15 to 20%. Fantastic. And also another 5% more damage to vulnerable enemies from 15 to 20%. And lastly, even more attack speed to throw out your blights faster to stack up more damage even faster. And all these bonuses are incredible. And that 5% more is not 5% more because you have everything sacrificed. Ergo, Memento Mori is gripping. That's another 60% bonus, which makes your former 15% into 20% times 1.6, brings us up to 32. And if you then play the sacrificial, we're actually going to go up by another 1.5, which brings us to 48%. Formerly, this would just be sitting at 15 times 1.6, 24. So we can get 48% bonus damage instead of 24% bonus damage. And that counts for both because we get the 20% vulnerable damage as well, times 1.6 times 1.5. So with the use of the sacrificial aspect, already getting another 24% more damage and another 24% more damage, multiplicative on top of what you're actually dealing already. And then the attack speed just going up to 15% and then times 1.5 because the Memento Mori doesn't grip on that. Still though, another 7.5% more attack speed to throw out Blight faster. And as you have infinite essence to actually do that, it just means more DPS straight away. That's not all of it though. There's a final build that profits tremendous. And we're talking about the Bone Spirit Slammer. And Bone Spirit was already able to clear 120 pit. Yes, And it's probably my favorite build because you're just running around, have your Skeletal Defender dads going on, and you have the opportunity to deal up to 1 billion plus damage with the Bone Spirits. We're talking about every Bone Spirit being an overpower crit, 500 million damage, 700 million damage, and so on. During the boss fight, you're essentially just going to be pumping out single nice Bone Spirit, get your HP up. That's probably the hardest part because you have to have HP and Fortify up. And then you're just yoinking out these absolutely super high-powered Bone Spirits going crazy. It's a bit tricky to play, but it has gotten stronger than ever for 2 reasons. First and foremost, you're sacrificing your Bone Mages for overpower. That one is now up to 30%. So even if you don't change anything in the build, all your overpower gets another 5% boost. You can do 1 billion damage already, well, add another 5% to that. And the same actually goes for your critical strikes because their critical strike overpowers. And you get another 5% from the Golem. So that's another, like, right? Just like that. You don't change your build, you do 1 billion damage, you do 500 million damage with the Bone Spirit, that's already stronger. And now you might actually consider throwing out your Skeletal Warriors again. They were used to keep you alive, but something bonus changed. And that is the Shielding Storm aspect. Right now, Shielding Storm reads, damaging an enemy with Bone Storms grants a barrier equal to 6% of your base life. That's shit, 6% base life? I think Necro has like a 7,000 base life or something. Let's actually throw away my gear here for a second. What do we have? Yeah, that's like, you know, base life. Not good, not good. We don't like it. We don't like it. Okay, now you're gonna get your Bone Storm barrier on your maximum life, 6% of your maximum life. And if we have everything going on, right now I'm missing my Harlequin Crest here, we're at 42 to 45,000 life, with 2 potions, 62,000 life. And of that, you're getting the Bone Storm barrier, which means that with the new sacrifice bonuses, we're talking about 30% for overpower, times 1.6 for Memento Mori, times 1.5 with a sacrificial aspect. That's 72% now. Pardon me, what? Formerly, we are looking at 25% and that's it. And best case scenario times 1.6 of 40%. So that's 32% multiplicative more damage on your overpowers. That is essentially like this multiplier is multiplying up all your overpower damage. You have 2,000% overpower damage times 40% or times 72%. And again, the same goes for your critical strike, which is then instead of 35%, a 52.5%. So we're not getting a 5% increase, right? We're getting a 22.5% increase over the 30%. And well, from the 25% up to 72, the build could already do billions, literal billions of damage with 1 Bone Spirit. An alternative, if you struggle to get the 275 essence with a perfect build, which you need, because with 275 essence, the Banished Lord's Talismans makes everything a great overpower. You could sacrifice your Skeletal Mages for essence, which is now 20 instead of 15. And again, that 20 essence is actually times 1.6 because the sacrificial plus 1.5. So you could be getting 48 essence for sacrificing your minions. Bonus. And getting 200 essence with that build was already plenty easy. Adding an elixir of resourcefulness with another 25, and you're almost at that 275 without much of an effort. Better than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Who's going to be the new S tier? I think Shadow Mages might actually be seeing some bonus ranks, especially with the nerf of the boss HP. We'll see about that. The Golem Necro doesn't profit at all, but I'm quite excited to see the Shadow and the Bone Spirit perform even better now. Don't worry, there will be a live stream testing out all those things. And here is the Golem build that we're currently rocking to beat everything in the game. Super easy mode. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic good day.